Greetings, travelers! Welcome. You have stumbled upon the Hidden Grove, where we learn more of the mysteries of Flatland BMX. If you're out there and you ride Flatland, I think what might help to raise the next Flatland heir, I guess, is to maybe go out and make some how-tos on the Flatland tricks that you know how to do. Even if you have watched even if you Google it or you YouTube it and there's already how-tos out there, you know, of the trick you maybe want to do a how-to on, or if you want to make a how-to. Because I find that a little strange that a lot of Flatland tricks barely have any how-tos or no how-tos at all. And it kind of confuses me at times because there's so many different variations, right? There's like switch foot, regular foot, bars big, bars small, you know, like left foot forward, right foot forward, you know, like different PSIs for different tricks, different geometries for different tricks, different, you know, there's just so many interesting variables. And I guess it's also what I find the mysterious part about Flatland, right? Is because there's so many tricks I want to learn, but there's no how-tos on how to do it, or there's like a ride-in or like a combo you have to do to get into the variation you want to learn, right? And I guess what also makes it a little hard is that for some of these tricks I've actually had to go out and message some Flatlanders and literally give them videos of being like, hey man, what am I doing wrong? Like, but now there's some tricks where I don't actually know how to find the people that even do them, right? Because to be quite frank, I know some Flatlanders, but like I don't know, like I'm not like a part of like the main big community of it or whatever, you know. But I do know like the guys from Long Beach, like a lot of the guys from California-ish, kind of more Southern California. And then like shout outs to Bobby Carter, he's been helping me a lot. And then Chris Bohm, he's from Germany. He's actually one of the dudes, Chris Bohm is actually one of the dudes that also inspired me to get into Flatland. It was crazy seeing Chris just if you see it in real life, right? It's weird because like if you see it in video, it doesn't look as epic. But when you're there in person and you see how fast he's spinning, he does these insane turbines. Like they look literally unreal how fast he's going. You're like, what in the world? Yeah, he's been inspiring me, helping me out with some of the tricks I've been trying to learn. But to be honest, I don't like to think about it this way, but I also think it might be the geometry of my bike now, right? And this is maybe the reason why basically most Flatlanders that I see, they're running like Flatland geometry. And by the way, I'm not using any Flatland geometry except for that peg right there. Right there. That one it is knurled. But other than that, everything on my bike is basically like street park geometry. Like I don't have zero offset forks. I don't have any offset of my forks. I don't have a Flatland stem. I don't have Flatland bars. I don't have a Flatland frame. I mean, I guess the seat's like a mountain bike seat. I guess that can kind of somewhat be like a Flatland thing maybe. But yeah, I'm not even running a free coaster. That's the other thing is actually, I think some people go, why am I not using a free coaster, right? So actually one of my Flatland friends actually did hook me up with this old free coaster hub, but I'm going to be really, really honest with you guys. Like, I have ridden a cassette all of my life, right? I started racing. That's how I kind of started BMX. I got into racing. I never ran a free coaster. I put on the free coaster, right? And I even adjust the slack. But the thing about it is that I never noticed how much I actually use pedal pressure to land a lot of tricks that I do. And so once I put that on, I just couldn't land anything. It was very odd. I guess I'm just not used to it, but I honestly like the pedal pressure. Anyway, sorry about that long rant. We are going to get into something that is more important though, and that is God's Word. You're going to do a Bible study devotional, right? To somehow plant any seeds or sow any seeds of faith, right? In any degree. I can at least try, right? We can at least attempt to, even though I will be honest, sometimes I feel like it's not really working, but there is this one verse that says even if you like turn one person back, or I don't know, something like that, then like there's a lot of angels will rejoice or something like that. So I guess it kind of motivates me to keep going, right? To, even if it doesn't seem like I'm hitting a lot of people, maybe if it's just inspiring one person, right? I guess that ultimately means a lot to God, right? And by the way, I don't know if I'm really doing these things right. We're kind of going off the cuff here. Today I actually did think about something. Today is a little different. I actually did think about something earlier today. I actually thought about it yesterday, and it was like, how does God like test people, right? I think lately I've been kind of going through some strange tests of maybe from God, right? So I've been kind of curious. There is a proverb that talks about testing of the heart, right? I think there's actually, we're going to look that up, where I think there's more than just the proverb. I'm pretty sure there's something in Psalms that talks about it as well as the Old Testament. I'm pretty sure, the Old Testament has a lot of testing that happened, where God's people went through various trials and maybe tribulation, maybe tests, right, to ultimately maybe see what was in their hearts and minds and stuff like that. So we're going to start that off today. That's kind of the question that arises: is how does God, or how maybe it would be. I mean, I kind of just looked up. Well, how does God test you, right? Or maybe how can we discern if God is trying to test you or something like that, right? Kind of interesting. I think it's interesting anyway. Found this verse though. We did find this verse. The fining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the hearts. Right, so that's right there. It trieth the hearts. Let's read the ESV. The ESV says, "The crucible is for silver, and the furnace is for gold, and the Lord tests hearts." Right. I think that's an interesting one, right? Sometimes it trips me out. Sometimes I feel like I've been kind of going through that lately, but sometimes I feel like I have like a road I could go on, and then there's like kind of diverging paths, right? One of the weird tests that I don't know if it's a test or not, but it's like I feel in my own doubts of my mind within the faith. I do go through many doubts, right? Is I've been kind of going on this thing of like seeing that there's a bunch of people that may not need God at all, right? And they're advancing, and it seems like they're advancing, and just everything's working out, and things are just working for them, right? And then sometimes I notice, like, I feel like some believers kind of seem like they're kind of struggling a bit, right? Or it seems very confusing, and sometimes it makes me go, man, should I go down the path of just least resistance and just what maybe works, right? Or should I maybe go down this path of like, maybe it's a little bit more risky, or I don't know really the end. I mean, well, I don't really, it seems a little bit more risky, or maybe it doesn't work as well. And then ultimately I kind of feel like this same thing has been happening to me a lot, right? And I've actually did a couple Bible studies. I literally did a Bible study like probably 3 days ago. Maybe not 3 streams ago of this very same thing, right? So I'm wondering if that's kind of like a testing thing. But then it's also like, it's not only that too, right? Because I also do see somewhat of the advancements of other believers as well, right? Um, I mean, even something that keeps me going, and that's actually the weird thing, right? Is we did do a Bible study on how God guides and leads his believers, right? And some of the commentaries we went on that is that sometimes God leads and guides believers from other believers, right? From other believers and from angels and stuff like that, and just inspirations, right? Just little nudges of where God wants to establish your steps, right? And it's kind of weird, right? Because I know I seem to kind of bring this up a lot, but this was actually one of, and it's like weird. It's almost like God reminded me, you know? Because like the weird thing is that even this whole flatland journey that I'm on, right? Of trying to learn flatland BMX, there was two mysterious believers that rode flatland. I kind of want to keep them hidden because I kind of want people to kind of search it out, right? There's that verse saying, maybe it's almost like a riddle or something, but there's that verse saying, the kings, what's it called? Like kings search things out. Kings search things out. I'm totally butchering it. I can't believe I can't remember it. Proverbs. It's something about like searching. Okay. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search a matter out. Right? So I feel like that there's been many instances of that as well. Of I feel like sometimes when I search deeper into things, right? Sometimes I don't know if they're signs, or I don't know if I'm just taking them wrongly, or I'm just maybe not, you know, but sometimes I feel like there's just instances where just certain signs just kind of like start appearing, right? Or like just strange like coincidences, right? Just start all adding up. You're just like, what in the world? That's just mysteriously ordered, right? Like it just seems like it's just strangely like, why is that there? Like, why did this all occur, right? It's just, I don't know, something mysterious about it, right? But that's honestly one of the reasons why I got into flatland, because there was two mysterious believers, right? And what's weird is like, out of the sea of BMX edits, right? I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of BMX edits, right? It's just odd that these two flatlanders, man, they both promoted God, they both like glorified God, and it was just odd. I was just like, what in the world? Like, why are these guys running flatland, right? Because I'll be totally honest. When I grew up and I started racing and I got into park riding and street riding, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of thought flatland was kind of lame. You know, and then the thing is that I actually never even met a flatlander until I moved out to Long Beach, right? And I met the guys in Marina Pacifica. Actually, I met Ryan Russell. He rides for S&M. I did meet him in Long Beach at the Globe, kind of by downtown. I think that might have been the first flatlander I really, really met. And then I met that same dude over at Marina Pacifica on the other side of Long Beach. And just met a whole bunch of different, and man, it was just seeing it in real life. It was like I was like, holy moly. And like, it was weird because they would do these tricks so easy, right? And I'm like, and I just try and go for it, right? And I'm like, what in the world, bro? This is like I wasn't expecting it to be that hard, right? Because I kind of just thought, you know, it was weird. And then they kind of like taught me all these, like, they inspired me a lot. They would like hook me up with parts. They'd be like, oh, bro, like, dude, go torque it this way, do this angle, go at this, you know, this speed and stuff at this trick. And I'm like, oh, dude. And it like totally like kind of set me on like almost like this inspiration of like, I could learn these things, right? Because they're doing it. I should be able to do it right too. And and it was almost like figuring out, I think what flatland to me personally is, it's almost like figuring out this puzzle, right? It's like this living puzzle. And it's just so strange because once you figure out some parts of this puzzle, you can learn other parts of the puzzle and then put it into a new combo or something. And I know it probably seems boring on the outside if you're probably viewing this, but it's just, it's super, there's something about it that's just so there's a complexity to it that's it's very interesting to me. And I'm like, man, you could always just add in new things, and it's just, I don't know, just something about just trying a trick and it feels impossible, right? It literally sometimes feels like you're never going to be able to learn it. Like even hang fives. I never thought I would even learn hang fives because I was always pegless, right? And it's kind of strange because even before I really got into like grinds and stuff, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and learn some flatland moves, right? It was kind of weird. I kind of went on the flatland spectrum of like, I guess the peg riding when I first put them on. But yeah, it was weird. Two believers that had some edits that tried to glorify God, and man, just watching those like a lot, they really, really hit me, and it was like, dude. And what was weird is they both did, I will give this little secret out. I mean, maybe not secret, but they both did stick B no-handers. And I just found that very odd. I was like, huh. And that trick right there, the stick B no-hander, you see me doing it a lot. But that was actually the first trick I wanted to learn in flatland. And it took me quite a long time to learn it, and I didn't care how long it took me. I was like, I'm gonna learn that trick. And yeah. But yeah, that's what I should be doing. I should try and find more combos into it. Man, I totally got sidetracked. Sorry about that. We got totally into like, I guess we got thinking about how God's guiding and leading us and stuff like that, right? Okay, let's see here. So we're going to go into Proverbs 17:3, and we're going to go into a commentary on it, right? Let's reread it again. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace is for gold, and the Lord tests hearts, right? And then going into, okay, so Proverbs 17:3 commentary. Let's see here. Now, Bible Ref does have some. It's kind of more of a modern translation of that, but I'm going to look on the Bible Hub one real quick. Let's see here. Okay, let's read Gill's exposition commentary. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold. Refiners of silver have their fining pots, in which they purify the silver from the dross. And by the way, there's actually another, I think there's some other instances of that, of like purifying the silver, right? And we're removing, or it's like removing the impurities, and the dross comes up to the top, right? And you skim out the impurities, so you get the pure silver or the pure gold, right? And sometimes it makes you wonder, because there's actually, let me look up, I think there might be another verse on that. Refining silver Bible verse? Maybe, let's look that up. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so there is another one. It's in Psalm 66:10. For thou hast tried us, O God, thou hast refined us as silver is refined, right? Sometimes it makes me wonder, right? And you know, the whole thing about what I brought up about like kind of almost like these paths that you may start seeing in your walk in the faith, right? And sometimes these paths really make you go, man, should I just like kind of abandon this, or should I just like leave it, or just like go a different way or something like that? But sometimes it makes you wonder like how God, because if we think that God is establishing our steps, right? When we delight in the laws of the Lord and God's word and stuff, He is going to establish our steps, right? And sometimes I wonder if it's also interesting to think that, you know, if God is doing that He is maybe like, well, He is refining us, right? And maybe He's taking out things that might detract us from His ultimate will for our lives, right? And I think that is kind of different for everybody on, you know, what things He gets you into, what, you know, what your interests, what you put your energy into and stuff like that, right? But I think that's also interesting to think about, right? Is how God refines us. So that's kind of a combo right there, like Psalm 66:10 and then Proverbs 17:3, right? Now let's go back to the commentary. I totally got a little sidetracked, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some other verses as well about refining, like refining us. Like this is what God does. He wants us to get refined and hopefully to just, I guess, stay more on course, right? Okay, and goldsmiths have their crucibles to melt and purify their gold, by which assesses of the worth of value of it may be made. But the Lord trieth the hearts. There is no vessel, as Gershom observes, in which they can be put and tried by creatures. A man does not know, nor can he thoroughly search and try his own heart, and much less the hearts of others. God only knows and tries them. Jeremiah 17:9. What does Jeremiah 17:9 say? Jeremiah 17:9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Vulgate, Latin, and Arabic versions render it by a way of similitude. As the fining pot is for silver, as silver is refined in the pot, and gold in the furnace, so the hearts of God's people and their graces tried and purified by him in the furnace of affliction. The variety of troubles they are exercised with are made useful for purging away the dross of sin and corruption, and for brightening their graces. Now, see, there's actually, now when I think about affliction, right, you think of that's actually, well, it is pretty brutal, right? But there's actually a psalm, I actually don't remember what psalm it is, but there is a psalm saying, before I look it up, if I remember it correctly, it's like David saying that, it's almost like David like anguishing, right? That he's going through these trials and tribulations, right? And then towards the end of the psalm, I think he says like, it was good for me that I was afflicted, because if I never was afflicted, I never would have known like the grace of God or something like that, right? Let me look it up. I don't know what I would put in. Afflicted psalm, is that what I should put up? Afflicted. And see, that's actually the weird thing about our technology, right? Literally, this is so weird about our technology. Like how I could write, like I don't actually know the verse right, but I know little bits and parts of the verse, and you can type it in and then find it, right? Imagine if